Chosen one. Pause for a moment. Take a breath. This is not an algorithm, not a coincidence, not a random video drifting across your screen. This is a divine appointment, a sacred moment heaven scheduled for you long before you woke up today. And if your spirit feels that tug right now, that warmth, that trembling, it's because this word is for you. Oinguiduk chon kuchwa, child of God. You have walked through things that would have broken most people long before now. You've cried silent tears behind closed doors. You've carried sickness in your body, heaviness in your mind, debt pressing on your chest, betrayal from people you loved, and spiritual attacks that made no sense in the natural. You've laid awake at 2 a.m., 3:33 a.m., whispering, "Lord, how much more can I take?" You've asked heaven quietly, "When is it my turn? When will the attacks stop? When will my life finally move forward?" Listen to me, beloved. The season of merely surviving is over. The season of crawling, breaking, bleeding, and barely holding on, it has expired. Heaven is shifting you from survival to assignment, from warfare to destiny, from battle to breakthrough. And yes, this message is finding you right in the middle of the spiritual pressure, because the enemies of your soul have sensed what is opening in your life. That is why the hatred increased. That is why the curses were spoken. That is why the attacks intensified. That is why death brushed against you but could not take you. Because a chosen one walking into their God-ordained season is a threat to darkness. Hear me. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are being launched. So stay with me until the end, because I am going to pray over you, break some things off your life, and release a prophetic activation for this next season of restoration, justice, and divine elevation. If your spirit is already stirring, if you feel this word touching places you haven't told anyone about, type Amen, I receive, or 777 inches the comments. Let heaven see your faith. Let darkness know you're still standing. Now, lean in, beloved. Your season is turning, and nothing can stop what God has ordained for you. Chosen one, let's talk about what heaven has actually watched you walk through when nobody else was looking. Child of God, there were nights you sat in your car, parked in some quiet corner, wiping your face with your sleeve so no one would see the tears. You gripped the steering wheel and whispered, "God, I can't do this anymore. I'm trying, but I'm so tired." Then you pulled yourself together, fixed your eyes in the mirror, and walked back into the world like nothing was wrong. People saw the smile. Heaven saw the shaking hands. There were moments in your bedroom, lights off, phone face down, when the silence felt heavier than any noise. The thoughts came like waves. Why am I still here? What is the point of this? What's wrong with me? Did God forget me? You didn't want to die. Not really. But you didn't want to keep living like that either. You had nights where you said, "If I don't wake up tomorrow, maybe that would be easier," and then felt guilty for even thinking it. Chosen one, heaven heard those thoughts too. You've tried so hard to be the strong one, the responsible one, the one with faith. You show up for everybody. You pray for people who never pray for you. You're the one your family calls, the one your friends vent to, the one who quietly picks up the pieces, pays the bill, holds the secret, and yet, somehow, you're the one left feeling empty, misunderstood, used, or taken for granted. You ask, "Why do I love so deeply?" and end up being the one bleeding. Some of you have looked around a room and thought, "I don't belong here." You can be in a crowd and still feel like a stranger. You don't think like everybody else. You feel more, see more, sense more. You walk into a place and pick up atmospheres people around you can't even name. They've called you too sensitive, too dramatic, too spiritual, too intense. But the truth is, you've been carrying weight they don't even know exists. You are not crazy. You are not broken beyond repair. You are different because you are marked. Listen to me, anointed one. The pressure you have been under is not random, and it is not punishment. It has felt crushing at times, but in the spirit it has been shaping. You have been in a wilderness, yes, but this wilderness was never meant to kill you. It was designed to strip off what could not go with you into your next level. What looked like delay was actually divine timing. What felt like rejection was often protection in disguise. Think about it. Every time something was about to lock you into the wrong place, the wrong relationship, the wrong agreement, something happened. It fell apart. It slipped through your fingers. You thought, why does everything I want get taken from me? Heaven was saying, because that is not on your assignment list. That is not in your curriculum. There has been a training going on, chosen one. A holy, intense, customized training. The battles you have faced were not random skirmishes. They were part of your spiritual curriculum. The sickness that tried to take you out, the depression that tried to smother your mind, the financial strain that tried to bend your back, the betrayal that tried to harden your heart, these were not God's way of tormenting you. They were the enemy's attempts to disqualify you and God's opportunity to fortify you. Your depression was not proof that God abandoned you. It was the battlefield where your anointing was tested and proven. In the wilderness, everything unnecessary falls away. In pruning, healthy branches are cut back so they can bear more fruit. That is why some connections were severed even though you begged God to let them stay. That is why doors closed even though you thought they were good doors. That is why certain opportunities broke your heart when they collapsed. It wasn't because you were unworthy. It was because your destiny requires a level of purity and focus that not everybody and not everything can survive. You have been in training for elevation, even when it felt like demotion. Child of God, you carry something rare. You have a spiritual royal bloodline. You are heaven's misfit not because you are wrong, but because you were never designed to fit into a system that runs on compromise and shallow living. You have always felt other, off, or too much, because your spirit remembers a reality the world has forgotten. That sense of, I don't belong here, is not proof that you are broken. It is proof that you are from a different order. You are not just called, you are marked. In the spirit, there is a mark on you that says, mine. Predators may see you and try to circle, but there is a cost attached to touching you that they cannot afford. You have survived what should have killed you. You have gotten back up from things that crushed others. You have walked through valleys of death, emotional death, mental death, even moments where your physical life was in danger, and somehow, you are still here, and not just barely here. Your heart is still capable of loving, forgiving, hoping. Do you understand how rare that is? Chosen one. You are hidden, not forgotten. There is a difference. Forgotten is when no one remembers you exist. Hidden is when you are intentionally covered until the appointed time. God has hidden you in seasons where you thought He abandoned you. He has kept you out of certain rooms, off certain platforms, away from certain people. Not because you were not good enough, but because your unveiling is tied to a specific timing. A Kairos moment where your life will make the maximum impact. It's why you couldn't sell out, even when it would have been easier. It's why you couldn't dumb yourself down to fit in. It's why sin never worked the way you wanted it to work. When you tried to live like everyone else, the conviction was too heavy. When you tried to numb yourself, the pain of being out of alignment hurt almost as much as the original wound. That's what it feels like to be marked. That's what it feels like to be set apart. You are not just a survivor of random chaos. You are a carrier of light in death valleys. You are anointed to walk through darkness and not be swallowed by it. To come out with wisdom, with compassion, with authority to speak to others who are trapped in that same place. Every night you wanted to give up, every tear that hit your pillow, every tremor in your chest. When anxiety tried to suffocate you, it all became part of your training, your spiritual resume. Even when you sought help from doctors, therapists, counselors, when you reached out just to keep yourself going, heaven was not disappointed in you. God can work through wise people, through medicine, through support systems. You were not weak for asking for help. You were wise. That too was part of your survival, part of your curriculum. The fact that you are still here listening to this means every attempt to erase you has failed. So hear this clearly, chosen one. You are not cursed. You are cultivated. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Your life has not been a string of meaningless tragedies. It has been a carefully watched training ground for a specific assignment. An assignment that requires someone who knows what it is to be at the edge and come back. Someone who can walk beside the broken and speak from experience, not theory. Someone who carries the authority to say, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper," and actually know what that means. You are not meant to blend in with the crowd because you are not built like the crowd. You are set apart, marked, hidden, protected, and preserved for a purpose that is bigger than the pain it took to shape you. And because you are marked this way, chosen one, the signs of your transition have already started to show up in your life. Even if you didn't have language for them yet, you felt it. Even if you didn't have words for it, the atmosphere around your life has been quietly changing. Chosen one, all of a sudden, the things that used to entertain you don't feed you anymore. Conversations that revolve around gossip, drama, tearing people down, replaying the same small stories over and over, your spirit just checks out. You sit there, nodding politely, but inside you feel this gentle disconnect, like, why am I even here? Why does this feel so empty? That's not you becoming cold or boring. That is your spirit outgrowing noise. This is not depression. This is divine transition. You've noticed you crave quiet in a way you didn't before. The TV that used to run in the background now feels like clutter. You find yourself turning down the volume, choosing a walk, sitting in your chair with a journal, just breathing. Your soul wants stillness. You're not antisocial. You're not pulling away from life. Heaven is pulling you into training. Silence has become the classroom where God is speaking to you between the words, in the spaces nobody else values. There are relationships that have begun to fade without a big fight, without a dramatic ending, without some explosive argument. Calls get fewer. Texts slow down. You feel a distance you didn't choose, and part of you wonders, did I do something wrong? Why don't I feel the same connection anymore? Chosen one, this is not random detachment. This is heaven unplugging you from what can't go with you. Some people were essential for your survival in the last season, but they are not equipped for your elevation in the next. You may even feel a strange pull, a nudge you can't shake, to change something significant. Your job, your city, the way you structure your days. You look at your life and think, I can't keep living like this. Something has to shift. The routines that once felt safe now feel like a cage. That restless stirring is not recklessness. It is holy discontent. It is your assignment pressing on the walls of your current situation, saying, make room. We can't stay here forever. And then there's that deep inner awareness. I am not the same person anymore. You look back at old photos, old conversations, old versions of you, and it almost feels like another lifetime, another soul. You respond differently now. You see through things faster. You spot manipulation, spiritual warfare, hidden motives, much more quickly than before. The veil has thinned around you. This is not you getting cynical. This is your sight sharpening. You are mid-metamorphosis. Some of you have walked through near-death moments, literal or emotional, that should have ended you. Accidents that somehow didn't touch you. Sickness that baffled doctors but loosened its grip. Nights where suicidal thoughts whispered, and yet something stronger whispered back, not like this, not today. You've had days where you thought, this is it, I can't come back from this, and yet, here you are. Near-death moments that didn't kill you are proof you're on a protected assignment. Chosen one. These are not random symptoms of you falling apart. These are signs of activation. Heaven has had you in survival mode for a long time, and now transition is calling you into alignment. You are being moved from one chapter to another, and the evidence is written all over your emotions, your preferences, your relationships, and your inner world. Now let's talk about what God is doing with your direction. There is a difference between the season where God primarily comforts you and the season where He begins to command you. In the survival season, His voice often comes like a blanket. I'm here. I love you. You're not alone. You needed that just to keep breathing. But as you heal, His voice starts to sound a little different, not less gentle, but more specific. Less, I know you're hurting. And more, get up. Do this. Go there. Release that. Start now. You've already felt it. A thought keeps coming back to you, uninvited, but persistent. Start that thing. Write that thing. Apply there. Leave this. Change that habit. You push it aside and it comes back in 3 days. You forget it. And it appears again, through a conversation, a sermon, a random video, a sentence someone says that hits you in the exact same place. This is not overthinking. This is heaven knocking. You've noticed numbers tracking you down, waking up at 3:33, seeing 4:44 on the clock, catching 11:11, 777, 888 on receipts, license plates, billboards. At first you thought, I'm just being weird. but it became too frequent to ignore. Every time it happens, something in your spirit perks up. Child of God. Those are not toys or coincidences, those are breadcrumbs. They are God's way of saying, I am here, I am speaking. Pay attention to this moment. Mark this thought. Mark this decision. There are phrases that keep circling your life. A specific Bible verse, a worship lyric, a declaration like, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, or I am chosen, I am protected. You see it on a screen, hear it in a song, read it on a post, and it feels like it jumps off the page towards you. That repetition is not because you're desperate. It is because heaven is engraving truth into your spirit to override the lies that trauma wrote there. Sometimes you feel an inner check, a heaviness, a tightening, a fog when you move in a direction that is not for you, and a strange peace when you step towards something that scares you but feels right. That is divine direction. Nudges, prompts, holy unease, sudden clarity, even the lifting of a weight when you finally say, okay, Lord, I'll let that go. All of that is guidance. In this season, God is not only comforting your pain, He is instructing your path. This is why He's been quiet about some of the things you begged Him to fix, but loud about the steps He wants you to take. You keep asking, why won't you change this? And He keeps turning the conversation back to, will you trust me and move when I say move? You are no longer just a wounded sheep. You are being treated like a warrior. Warriors don't only get comfort, they get strategies. Chosen one. Heaven is shifting you from needing only reassurance to carrying responsibility. That is why the weight of obedience feels stronger now. That is why ignoring the nudges makes you more miserable than the fear of actually following them. Your path is narrowing, not because God is cruel, but because your calling is sharp. Narrow paths lead to precise destinations, and in the middle of all of this inner work, there is another layer beginning to move around you. Provision. For a long time, your story in the natural has looked like lack, delay, and closed doors. Bills piling up, unexpected expenses, helping others when you could barely help yourself, seasons of unemployment or underemployment, opportunities that seemed promising and then disappeared. You may have went to bed more than once thinking, is this my whole life? Struggling forever? Child of God, your season of lack was not a life sentence. It was a purification and refinement before abundance. Lack exposed who and what was really for you. It revealed motives. It showed you which people only walked with you when you had something to give, and which ones stayed when you had nothing to offer but your presence. It taught you to value what can't be bought. It stripped away the illusion that money alone could heal the deep places. And yet, heaven never intended for you to live permanently in survival. Scraping by, apologizing for needing help, feeling ashamed for not having more to show. You have been in a kind of financial wilderness, and just like every other wilderness, it had curriculum in it. You learned wisdom. You learned to stop tolerating financial chaos, to read the fine print, to recognize manipulative deals, to say no to what did not carry peace. You learned to pray not just, God, bless me, but, God, align me. That distinction matters, because blessing without alignment can destroy a soul. Alignment before blessing prepares it. Now, quietly, the winds around your provision are shifting. Ideas that seemed impossible before are now circling back with favor attached. Skills you developed in hiddenness are about to be used in ways you never imagined. New streams are forming, not just one big wave, but multiple channels. Opportunities, collaborations, creative downloads, doors that match who you actually are, not who you pretended to be to survive. When we talk about wealth transfer, we're not talking about the universe randomly throwing cash at you. We're talking about God rearranging resources, influence, and access, taking them out of hands that misused them, and placing them into the hands of those who will steward them with purity. That includes you, chosen one. Your years of wilderness, your decision not to sell your soul for comfort, your insistence on integrity even when it cost you, have positioned you to hold more without being owned by it. You are moving into a season where God is not just sending provision. He is sending pattern, strategy, blueprints. You will begin to sense, I can't handle money the way my family always has. I can't just spend to numb my pain. I have to build. I have to plant. I have to think generationally. That's not pressure. That's promotion. Your mindset about money is being upgraded because your assignment involves more than just your own survival. And yes, for many of you, there will be a noticeable shift. What used to take years will begin to unfold in months. What used to be blocked will begin to open. The kind of jobs, projects, or clients you attract will start to look different, more aligned. You will see acceleration, things moving faster than they should. But understand this: acceleration is not random speed. It is the side effect of alignment. Once your heart, your habits, and your hearing line up with heaven's timing, time itself begins to cooperate with your destiny. Chosen one, don't be surprised when certain sources of income dry up right before better ones emerge. Don't panic when an old way of making ends meet stops working. That is often the sign that heaven is cutting off the wilderness provision to usher in promised land provision. Remember, in the wilderness, manna fell every day. In the promised land, they stepped into harvest. They didn't plant alone. The method changed. The faithfulness of God did not. The same pruning that touched your relationships is going to touch how you handle resources. God is protecting you from wealth that would pull you away from Him, and preparing you for wealth that will enable you to carry out your assignment. You will begin to feel it in your spirit. I can no longer chase money. I must follow purpose, and provision will follow. That is a holy shift. So, child of God, as the noise falls away, as the circle narrows, as the nudges get louder and your hunger for more of Him grows, understand this: you are not losing your mind. You are gaining your mandate. And because heaven is shifting not only your heart but also your resources and your relationships, the way people and provision move in and out of your life is about to make a lot more sense. So when heaven starts touching your resources like this, chosen one, it's not just about paying bills more comfortably. It's about repositioning you. For a long time, lack felt like your identity. You looked at your bank account and quietly thought, maybe I'm just meant to struggle. Maybe abundance is for other people. You saw others cutting corners, lying, manipulating systems, attaching themselves to people for money, and it seemed to work for them. Meanwhile, you chose the narrow path. You chose honesty when lying would have been easier. You chose integrity when compromise might have gotten you ahead faster. It looked like you were losing. In heaven's records, you were qualifying. Child of God, the shift that is coming to you is not just financial, it is structural. Divine transfer means God begins to move what was never stable out of your hands and bring in what is aligned with who you really are. New streams of provision are not just random checks in the mail, they are ideas that won't leave you alone. Collaborations that find you instead of you chasing them. Doors that open that fit your calling like a key in a lock. God is not just sending money. He is sending wisdom, strategy, ideas, opportunities, and connections. You will notice it in the way you think. Where you once said, I just need more, you will begin to say, Lord, show me the pattern. Show me how to steward what you send. Where you once felt shame asking for help, you will begin to feel gratitude and clarity. This was provision, not pity. Where you once feared numbers, you will begin to feel a quiet boldness to look at your finances, to make plans with God, not in panic but in partnership. Your season of lack was never meant to define you. It was meant to refine you. Heaven has been breaking the agreement you subconsciously made, with poverty, with unworthiness, with just enough to survive. You are not a beggar at the back door of God's house. You are a child of God at His table. Your true source is not the economy, not one job, not one person, not one government system. Your source is God, and every other channel is just that, a channel. Channels can change, the source does not. This is why certain financial doors closed when they did. This is why some too good to be true offers suddenly fell apart. This is why money that came through wrong means never stayed long. Heaven has been jealous over you. You are not allowed to be owned by what you are called to steward. So when God begins to move resources in your direction in this next season, it will be in a way that allows you to remain free inside. Not addicted, not controlled, but trusted. Now, chosen one, as God adjusts your provision, He is also adjusting your people. There are some faces you need to release from the role they were never meant to play. Some people were part of your healing, but not your elevation. They came into your life when you were bleeding, confused, broken. They offered something you needed then, comfort, company, distraction, even a mirror of who you thought you were. But as you heal, as you remember who you are, the dynamic shifts. You begin to feel a misalignment. Conversations that once felt soothing now feel shallow. Behaviors you once excused now grieve your spirit. This doesn't make them evil. It just means their assignment in your story was temporary. Not everyone is a lifetime covenant. Some are bridges, not destinations. Some are chapters, not the whole book. When you try to drag a temporary assignment into a permanent role, both of you suffer. That is why God, in His kindness, has allowed some connections to dissolve before your next level. It's editing, not abandonment. You might still feel the sting of those exits. You replay the goodbye that never properly happened. You remember being ghosted, betrayed, misunderstood, or left without closure. Heaven saw every bit of that pain. But listen to me. Their leaving did not cancel your calling. Their silence did not silence heaven's plans for you. Their inability to see your value did not erase it. God is not punishing you by removing people. He is protecting you from being weighed down when He needs you light enough to rise. Let go of the bitterness that whispers, "They all used me. No one ever stays. I must not be worth keeping." That is not the voice of God. Your worth is not measured by who stayed. It is rooted in the one who never left. Ask Him to help you bless those who walked away. Ask Him to help you release the version of yourself that needed them so desperately. You are not that person anymore. And that brings us to a holy invitation. Anointed one, surrender. You have done everything you know how to do. You have prayed, fasted, cried, planned, strategized, worried, tried to hold the pieces together with your bare hands. You have tried to anticipate every outcome, to protect yourself from another surprise blow. It has left you exhausted. This is the season where rest becomes your warfare. Surrender does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become passive. It means you stop trying to be your own savior. It means you gently, deliberately lay down the illusion that you can control every twist and turn. You say with your whole being, "Lord, I surrender. I let go of what is not mine to carry. I receive what you have for me. I trust you more than I trust my fear." In the secret place in your bedroom, your car, your quiet corner, begin to breathe those words out. I surrender. I let go. I receive. Lord, I trust you. As you do, the grip of anxiety will begin to weaken. The need to over-explain yourself to everyone will lessen. The compulsion to replay every conversation, every decision, every mistake will begin to loosen its hold. Rest is not laziness, it is alignment. When you rest in Him, you are saying, "I agree that you are God, and I am not." Out of that rest, something beautiful happens. Acceleration, chosen one. Heaven is not rushing you, but heaven is redeeming time. There are places where you feel years were stolen from you. Years lost to sickness, depression, abusive situations, confusion, wandering. You look back and think, if that hadn't happened, I'd be further along by now. But what you call lost time, God can call compressed training. And in this next season, you will see the effect of divine fast forward. You will watch doors open that bypass processes you thought were required. You will see connections form quickly that carry depth that normally takes years to build. You will step into rooms you didn't even know you were being prepared for. You will experience moments where everything seems to align at once. The right conversation, the right timing, the right confirmation, and you will know, this is not coincidence. This is a kairos moment. Acceleration is not chaos. It is not reckless jumping. It is what happens when alignment meets divine timing. When your heart, your habits, your hearing, and your obedience line up with what heaven has already written, the external circumstances begin to rearrange in ways that look too fast to those who didn't see the years of hidden work. They will call it overnight. You will know it was a long night that finally ended. Do not be afraid when things start moving quickly. Do not sabotage yourself because it feels unfamiliar to receive instead of fight for every inch. You have spent so long bracing for impact that you almost don't know how to relax into blessing. But this is part of your healing too. To let God be good to you without you feeling like you have to earn every drop with blood. Chosen one, this is your kairos moment, not your expiration date. The enemy would love for you to believe you are too old, too late, too broken, too behind. Heaven disagrees. You are not behind. You are right on time for your assignment. You are not forgotten. Your name has been spoken in rooms and realms you've never seen. You are not disqualified. The very battles you thought ruined you have qualified you in ways you don't yet fully understand. You are aligned. All of the stripping, all of the pruning, all of the wilderness nights, all of the private tears, all of the spiritual warfare that tried to convince you to give up. None of it was wasted. You stand now at the threshold of a chapter that requires everything you've learned, everything you've survived, everything you've surrendered. So, child of God, as you hear these words, let something inside you stand up, not in striving, but in recognition. This is who you really are. This is what you were kept alive for. This is the reason death had to pass over you. The reason curses could not stick. The reason witchcraft assignments boomeranged back. The reason your picture on someone's altar couldn't override the mark of God on your life. You are here on purpose. And now, as this word has located you and aligned you, I'm going to speak a final activation over your life that seals this season and marks the beginning of your new chapter. Chosen one, if you are still here, listening to these words all the way to the end, I need you to understand something very clearly. This moment is holy. Beloved, this is not just the end of a video. This is a sealing moment, a sacred interruption in your timeline, a divine appointment where heaven has been recalibrating your heart, your story, your identity. Today, heaven pulled back the veil just enough to remind you. You have walked side by side with death, with depression, with thoughts of giving up, and yet you were constantly protected. Today, you were reminded that you are not cursed, you are marked. You are not simply surviving. You are stepping into destiny, restoration, spiritual wealth, and justice that were written over you before you took your first breath. It's as if time paused and realms aligned just so this word could find you. Source, God, the Lord of all light, paused everything to say, child of God, I see you. I know what you've walked through, and this is not where your story ends. This is not just information for your mind. This is an invitation for your soul. This is the doorway into a new chapter, a new assignment, a new level of protection and favor that matches the mark you carry. Now, before you click away and go back into your day, I want to give you some simple, sacred ways to walk this out in real life. Because what happened here only becomes transformation when it moves from your ears into your habits. First, I want you to make room for holy pauses. Even if it's just 3 to 5 minutes a day, turn off the noise, no TV, no phone, no scrolling, and sit with your own spirit and with God. Put a hand on your heart and whisper, God, show me where you are already working in my life. Show me what you're aligning. Show me what you're asking me to release and what you're asking me to receive. That small pause becomes a portal. That quiet space is where instructions get clearer and fear gets quieter. Second, I encourage you to start a simple journal, a spiritual record. It doesn't have to be fancy. Write down the battles you've survived, the nights death brushed past you, the moments you saw 333, 444, 777, 11 to 11 and felt heaven wink at you, the times you felt protected when you should have been destroyed. Write down dreams you buried because of fear or shame. This is not just journaling. It is you testifying to yourself. It is you saying, I remember who I am. I see the mark of God on my story. Third, I want you to consider one small act of love as a prophetic sign. Maybe it's praying quietly for someone who hurt you. Not from a place of pretending it didn't matter, but from a place of releasing them so you can be free. Maybe it's sending a small blessing, a kind message, a silent prayer over someone you once saw as an enemy. Not because what they did was okay, but because you refuse to let bitterness define your future. You are choosing light, even after walking through darkness. And finally, begin to shift your inner language. Catch yourself when you think, I am cursed, I am forgotten, I am too late, and gently replace it with truth. I am marked, I am protected, I am right on time, in divine timing, I am chosen. Your tongue is a key in the spirit. Every time you choose that language, you are turning that key. These are not religious performances. These are the small, real-world ways that chosen ones agree with heaven. Every holy pause, every line on a page, every quiet act of kindness, Every new declaration is a signal in the unseen that says, I accept the mark and the mission on my life. Now, before we close this moment, I want you, if you can, to pause with me. Anointed one, just take a breath. If you're able, gently close your eyes. Place a hand over your heart as a sign not to me, but to heaven, that you are open to receive. I want to speak a prayer and a prophetic activation over you. This is not just a nice ending. This is a seal, a decree, a spiritual activation for your next season. God, Lord, source of all light and life, we come before you right now for this chosen one, this child of God listening on the other side of this screen. Heavenly Father, we thank you that you have seen every battle they have fought, every tear they have cried, every valley of death they have walked through. You are the one who placed a mark on their life, the one who wrote their assignment, the one who surrounded them with protection so strong that even death had to respect the boundaries you drew. Thank you that this moment is not an accident. Thank you that this video, this word, is a divine interruption, an answer to a quiet cry they thought no one heard. Thank you for revealing that they are not crazy. They are chosen. They are not cursed. They are marked. Thank you for showing them that their wilderness was training, not rejection. That their depression, their darkness, their near collapse was not disqualification, but the battlefield where their anointing was tested and proven. Right now, Lord of Heaven, I ask that you move on their behalf in a fresh way. For the one who has walked side by side with death, I ask for deep healing in their mind, in their nervous system, in the parts of their soul that still flinch at night. Turn the garments of mourning into garments of praise. Trade their heaviness for a mantle of joy. Let the residue of trauma begin to lift under your gentle hand. Let them feel, maybe for the first time in a long time, that they are safe in you. For every assignment of darkness that has been sent against them through words, witchcraft, envy, curses, malicious intent, we ask now that you expose it, cancel it, and send it back to where it came from in accordance with divine justice. No weapon formed against them shall prosper. Every tongue that rises against them in judgment, we declare it will fall. Let the law of heaven stand. Touch not this anointed. Let their life be wrapped in a sevenfold shield of protection and recompense for their finances, their provision, their ability to sustain themselves. I ask for a holy reset. Open doors that no human can shut. Release strategies, ideas, and connections that come with your fingerprint on them. Not just money, Lord, but wisdom to steward wealth, courage to say no to wrong opportunities, clarity to see which doors are theirs and which are traps. Let this be the beginning of their wealth transfer season, not just in currency, but in favor, influence, creativity, generational impact. For their relationships, I ask for divine editing and divine restoration. Remove what must be removed with grace and finality. Protect them from every connection that would drain or derail their calling. Heal the places where abandonment and betrayal have taught them to distrust love. Surround them with aligned souls, with safe people, with a true spiritual family that recognizes the mark they carry. Now, in the name of the one who is light in every realm, we break every lie that says they are too late, too broken, too much, or not enough. We cancel every assignment of shame, fear, scarcity, self-sabotage, and unworthiness. We declare over this chosen one, you are aligned, not behind. You are protected, not exposed. You are appointed, not overlooked. Your times are in God's hands, and time is being redeemed on your behalf. We speak order into their mind, peace into their body, clarity into their decisions, and courage into their steps. We declare that this is a kairos moment, a turning point where heaven fast-forwards what was delayed and brings them into sync with their true timeline. Let acceleration come where there has been stagnation, but let it be acceleration with stability, with grounding, with wisdom. Holy Spirit, seal this word in their heart. Do not let the darkness steal it with distraction, doubt, or despair. Remind them tomorrow, and the next day, and the next week, of what you whispered here tonight. Walk with them into every room, every appointment, every ordinary day, and quietly repeat, you are marked, you are protected, you are chosen. And we seal this word over your life, chosen one. In the name of the one who wrote your destiny before time began. Amen. Now, child of God, if something in you knows this was for you, I want to invite you to respond not just to me, but to heaven. Drop a simple declaration in the comments as an act of faith. I receive, or I remember who I am, or just 777. This is not just a comment. It is a prophetic act, a public agreement with what heaven has spoken over you. If this word found you and you know you are part of this family of chosen ones waking up across the earth, don't let this be the last time we meet. Subscribe, stay connected, and keep walking this journey with us. This is more than content. This is a movement of marked souls remembering their assignment. I bless your mind, your heart, your home, your timing, and your steps. May you never again forget who you are. You are marked. You are protected. You are right on time in divine timing. You are not crazy. You are not alone. You are chosen, and I'll see you in the next message. Together, we are stronger,